Jack Tyler was a kind young man searching for work in a city where jobs were scarce. Despite his efforts, every application seemed to lead nowhere, leaving him with barely enough money for basic necessities. As a boy, he had dreamed of becoming a professional cricketer. He was talented at sports, excelling at cricket and football, but there were always others who played just a bit better. Eventually, he abandoned that dream and hoped to find work in a sports shop instead, a place where he could at least be near the games he loved. But even that simple wish remained unfulfilled. Every morning, Jack scanned the newspapers and sent out countless application letters, yet silence was his only reply. Then one afternoon, he noticed an advertisement for a weekend fair in the local park. With nothing to lose and little money to spend, he decided to go. The fair promised a brief escape from his worries, and the entry fee was affordable. Sunday arrived, warm and bright. The park was alive with color, flowers blooming in shades of pink, blue, and yellow under a clear sky. Jack wandered through the fair, playing simple games and winning small prizes, a bag of chips and a book about sports. He bought himself an ice cream to cool down and sat on a wooden bench, enjoying the moment. For the first time in weeks, he felt a flicker of happiness. As he finished his treat, a bold sign caught his attention. It read, "Madame Lara knows the future. Discover what awaits you." Jack hesitated. He didn't believe in fortune tellers, but curiosity pulled him forward. What harm could it do? He stepped inside the dim tent, where an elderly woman with silver hair and deep brown eyes greeted him with a knowing smile. She asked him to choose 3 cards from a deck spread across the table. Jack selected them and handed them over. Madame Lara studied the cards in silence, her expression growing serious. Finally, she looked up and spoke with unusual intensity. She warned him not to travel anywhere the following Thursday. If he began a journey that day, she said something would go wrong and he would never reach his destination. Her words were firm and unsettling. Jack left the tent feeling uneasy, but he quickly dismissed her warning as nonsense. After all, he had nowhere to go. But Wednesday brought an unexpected letter. It was a reply to one of his job applications. A sports shop in a town 40 kilometers away had an opening, and the manager wanted to meet him the very next day, Thursday. Jack's heart raced with excitement. This was the opportunity he had been waiting for. Then the old woman's warning echoed in his mind, and a chill ran through him. Should he go? Missing this interview could mean losing his only chance at employment. He wrestled with doubt, but ultimately decided to take the risk. He convinced himself that fortune-telling was just superstition. Thursday morning, Jack arrived at the station and bought a ticket. When the train pulled in, he boarded and found a seat next to an elderly man with a leg in a cast. The man seemed kind, and Jack felt sympathy for him. As the train rolled through the countryside, the old man offered Jack some tea from a small flask. Grateful, Jack accepted and introduced himself. They exchanged a few friendly words, and Jack began to relax. Then, without warning, a deafening crash shook the train. The cars jolted to a sudden halt, throwing passengers forward. Panic spread quickly. Jack looked out the window but saw nothing unusual. He reassured the old man and went to find the guard. The guard explained that a massive tree had fallen across the tracks. It would take hours to clear, and all passengers had to disembark immediately. The nearest village was a short walk away. Jack's heart sank. His interview was ruined. The job he desperately needed was slipping away. He helped the elderly man off the train and carried his heavy suitcase toward the village. The man thanked him, explaining that the bag contained a laptop and important documents. Jack forced a smile, but inside he felt crushed. The fortune teller had been right after all. As they walked, the old man noticed Jack's troubled expression and gently asked what was wrong. Jack told him everything: the job interview, the long journey, and the missed opportunity. To his surprise, the old man began to laugh. Jack felt a flash of anger. How could his misfortune be amusing? But the old man quickly composed himself and apologized. Then he revealed something astonishing. He was a wealthy businessman who owned a chain of sports shops across several towns. He had been searching for someone trustworthy and hardworking to manage his newest and largest store. Watching Jack's kindness on the train and his willingness to help a stranger, he realized he had found the right person. He offered Jack the job on the spot. Jack stood frozen in disbelief. The worst day of his life had just become the best. His voice trembled as he accepted, gratitude flooding through him. The old man smiled warmly and shook his hand. In that moment, Jack understood that sometimes the journey we fear most leads us exactly where we need to be.